So I tell you about the kid I work with and his Bonnaroo experience.
Oh, God.
This ought to be good.
All I'll say is he's collectively known at work as being cheap. And so he finds some girl that has an extra Bonnaroo pass for the weekend.
Oh, okay. So he didn't have to pay for it.
And she offers to give it to him. Of course, he's going to quasi, date her or do whatever through the weekend to get this free ticket. So it turns out that one of the nights they're out there, they're all camping down in the tent, whatever. I guess her friends. I've never been out there, but I can imagine it's just people all over and hot and humid and nasty.
It is. Mm-hmm. I've been.
Well, he decides it's uncomfortable. So he then decides it's a really good idea to very quietly, or possibly you could say sneakily, get up, find her car keys, go get in her car, crank it, and sleep in it with the AC running. Even better, when asked, well, did you tell the girl you were going to do it? He has this look and then finally reluctantly admits, I thought about asking her, but I was just afraid she'd say, yeah, she wanted to come with me.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Edwards, and with me is Zeke Baker, and together we make the Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, thank you for making us a part of your day. Say hello to the folks, Zeke Baker. Couldn't say that quick enough.
Hello. Slow it down a little bit for you there, bud.
It's like the tortoise and the hare. It's a big night. We have two.
Well, one of us has hair.
Yeah, you do. I don't. You don't have any mustache hair anymore. It's still. You are like a million times better looking without a mustache. I have to tell you that. Like, I look over at your face, you actually look like a nice guy.
Is that why you told me to sit closer to the table tonight?
Yeah, I wanted to look into your eyes.
Jesus.
But you actually look like a nice, sweet boy without, like...
A nice
boy. You look...
I'm 37, John.
Okay, hold on. You look like a nice, sweet young man without that mustache.
Strapping's the word I like.
Strapping?
Yep.
Yeah, you look like... Ma's sitting there going like, come here closer, Zeke. You look so good. I can actually see your face and your lip.
Well, I'm glad your visual pleasures are enhanced, I guess.
Well, I just don't know how Amy would bring you around her parents with that mustache. Like, it's like, you're like the guy you wouldn't want to take home to mom and dad. And now...
I grew my hair for 2 years after the first kid. I think a mustache was actually toning it down some.
No, I like the man bun better than the mustache. I mean, at least you can kind of tuck that in a ponytail or something.
Well, I think you should attempt a beard bun.
Maybe. I had it really long. I got in trouble. But I think
those beads like David Allan Coe.
I think you could do, when you had the pony, you could at least say, I'm growing this out for Locks of Love.
It was some other organization. I forget what it's called. But
whatever it was, but you could say it's for the kids, It's for the children.
Of course.
Anyways, long story short, it's a very big night because we have two amazing guests. I was recently a guest on their show, and it's only right that we return the favor, and it is the folks from Blue Collar Bourbon, JP and D-Rock, and we're going to get into the fact that you use pseudonyms here in a minute. Say hello to the folks. It's good to have you here.
Hey, folks.
Hello.
Thanks for having us, guys. This is awesome.
Yeah, so why are you too chicken to use your real name? Is it because you're worried fans are going to be showing up at the studio?
No. I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's part of it. No, but what we do for day jobs. How do you explain this without explaining it? We wanted to protect what we do as
the way we really get paid. And some of those people might not be as happy with what we do.
Yeah.
On our nighttime gig.
How'd you pick your names? And I know that. I understand that. I was just giving you hell. But
the problem is, if I tell you how to pick my name, you know my name.
I know, but like, why didn't you think of like Stormy Daniels? There's like...
Well, I didn't want to go full on porn star with it.
No, we're not that good.
They asked
Clearly
me...
we see where John spends his free time.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so... Or not Stormy Daniels. Sorry. There's, what's the guy? Stormy Warren.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. That's two completely different stories.
No, there's like... yeah.
Those are very different storms.
Why did I say Stormy Daniels?
No, one of them has an E and one has a Y in the name. So I can see where you get thrown off there, John.
Zeke's productive after 9:30. I go downhill.
Yeah.
But it's... When I did radio, they asked me, with a name like John Edwards, you should have actually like taken a radio name. And I was like, I don't know why. My name's fine.
You should have got super creative and then tried to like spell something else with all the letters in your name, like, Jim Morrison and Mojo Rising.
What I like about it is with John Edwards, there's 6,000 John Edwardses in the U.S., so
I will tell you
kind of
this.
lets you blend in a little more.
Our pseudonyms go along with our names.
Yes.
I figured that much. I'm that
I'll even
awake.
go one step further. Me and you have the same first name.
I know. We are Facebook
You
friends.
know that.
We are
Then you don't even have to
Facebook
disguise it. Like you said, there's quasi a million Johns. Now,
It's,
Zeke, I would be SOL.
And to be fair, it's pretty much known now. We just stuck with it.
What I like is when people go that are in like the Facebook boards and they go to Zeke and they go, "Are you the Zeke on Dad's Drinking Bourbon?"
How many Zekes do you know?
And they're like, how many Zeke bakers do you know?
I mean,
I've never met another one.
of any bourbon board or group I'm in, I'm the only Zeke. I mean, maybe there's some other one hiding out somewhere and the people get confused.
Yeah. No.
Oh, there's something I have to bring up here in a minute. But you guys, tell us a little bit about Blue Collar Bourbon. I know I could tell having been on the show, but I'd much rather you tell the folks about your show and what it is you all do.
We're just three dudes. We liked whiskey, liked bourbon, but we knew there were other guys out there that didn't know how to get into whiskey and bourbon, didn't know where to start. Didn't want to start, obviously, with the super, super expensive stuff, nor probably should you. So we just decided, let's do a show where we take everything under $50 and blind taste test it, because being that a lot of our day jobs are marketing, we know how much a label plays into biased. So we said, let's blind everything and let's keep it all under $50. So that's what we do. We take two whiskeys a week and we blind taste test them. Those have to be under $50, and then we always do a little segment at the end that includes something out of the price range.
Yeah, a little outside of that range.
And that's one of the fun things that we talked about when I was on your show, is that we have very, very similar philosophies. We don't want the label to kind of show any bias. And one of the things that we were talking about is Zeke and I have been doing the blinds for so long that if we do something with a label, everybody knows by now that we're going to be honest either way. And hopefully we've at least earned that credibility with the folks. But I love your show. I also felt like I was going in from a third world country to a first world country when I went to so for you guys listening, we kind of have a makeshift studio. I have some equipment, and it's have equipment, will travel, will set up anywhere. These guys have a studio and a producer. Zeke, they have a producer. I forget what the heck his name is. Meadman. Sorry. I knew I would remember it as soon as you told me. Meadman.
He doesn't drink whiskey. He drinks mead. So
he drinks mead.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
especially for a consistent pour. I feel like that's one of those.
He claims he's not consistently pouring mead, but I think
he's always talking about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm in a mood once a week or month kind of thing, and you even have a pour or two, and after that, you're just.
I had never had it until he poured it for us.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan. So
I've had it once that I can remember. An employee brought some back from Texas. It wasn't bad.
Does he make his own mead?
No. He probably would.
I think he would be.
He might have attempted it in the past, but he doesn't make it.
Does he ever go to any Renaissance festivals?
I
would
have
not
to
doubt that
imagine
at
he's
all.
at Renaissance.
Yeah.
festivals, yes.
I said Renaissance to be funny. If anyone ever watched How I Met Your Mother,
I
he
never got
says
into
the
that show.
Renaissance fair. But Meadman, Zeke, this producer, because they're living in the lap of luxury, this producer just gets crap from all the people on the live stream. There's one guy on the live stream who decided to pick on poor Meadman. And
Is it a cowboy character?
No. Okay. He's not our same guy. It's not Bourbon Cowboy. But there is a guy who, what's it, Ben? Ben just gives Meadman hell.
Yep.
I feel bad. Meadman just sits there quietly and does his job.
He knows he's got a character, he's got a role to play, and he knows it's just part of the game.
Well, he is your Baba Booey.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's him.
And that's what the producer plays. The producer gets all the hell from the listeners and from the host in the studio. But a big fan of what you guys are doing, a big fan of the philosophy of trying things blind, and love that you guys are out there. And we say this over and over, just rising tides, rise all ships. And we love when good things are happening for podcasts in Nashville. And it just kind of shows all the good stuff. I mean, we have like 4 or 5 podcasts here in Nashville that are whiskey related, and it kind of shows how crazy Middle Tennessee is for whiskey.
Yeah.
We just encourage, if you guys listen to us, go ahead and check out Blue Collar Bourbon. They are on all of your favorite podcast providers, just like we are, and we will allow them to say where they are at the end. But before we get into what we're drinking, you guys might find this really funny.
Okay.
The folks over at Barrels and Brews were up at Wild Turkey today, picking some more Russell's Reserve barrels. And then they got a text from the guy who was hanging out at their store. And I don't know if you guys
He was
saw.
running the store. I mean, not just like loitering.
No, he wasn't. He was working at the store. And I don't know if you guys saw our Father's Day pick that we did with Barrels and Brews. And so a certain chicken restaurant might have called up Barrels and Brews and politely gave them a cease and desist from using the sticker in ongoing things moving forward. So
I could have told you that was coming.
Yeah.
I feel bad because it was Zeke and I that made the sticker. And I have to say that was a very, very good idea that Zeke had that I just kind of added to here and there by saying, what if we move the sign a little bit this way or move the buffalo this way? It was Zeke's big brainchild. And it was a hell of an idea, and my hat's off to you, Zeke, for this one. I told everybody I talked to today, I was like, man, happiest I've been in maybe a month. Like, yeah, we can't ever use it again, but at the same time, I kind of thought that might happen if we did it just, enough, and enough people got their hands on them.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I was like, Zeke, so you're telling me I can't go on Instagram today and say, attention, if you post this picture, you might get in trouble. But definitely don't post this picture after I post it one last time today. Never post it again.
Well, the picture's still past tense. It's already done. We just can't have anything else done.
Yeah, we can't do anything new.
Nope.
I still need some more of those just to put on like a cooler. You still have some extra of the sticker, right?
I played the fifth, son.
No.
That's a smart move.
Allegedly.
This guy.
Legend has it.
Man. John's like, hi, bus. Meet Zeke.
No, I'm just saying if I want to put one on my cooler,
He's looking
we
for a
have
fall
like
guy.
a couple.
Fifth.
I was testing you. You passed. Congratulations.
I mean, I will say of any of the various times in the past I've been involved in anything legal, the normal response is, the bottom end kind of puckers up a little bit and the blood pressure may raise a little bit. This, I just kind of got a nice little shit-eating grin and passed myself in the back. Like, ha ha, good job there, boy.
Got their attention.
Yeah.
Zeke was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. All right, we're rambling. Should we drink some whiskey here?
Let's drink some.
I mean, I have been the whole time. I don't know what y'all are
I have been too. They thankfully brought this Rebel Yell 100. And JP, I do have to say this is pretty good for $18. I'm sure we'll go into more depth on it for right now, but I just say for $18, it's good.
It's a price performer for sure.
Definitely.
Zeke, your thought? You're not normally a Rebel Yell fan, so
Yeah, I said I didn't like either one of the single barrel releases, but that's good. $18. That's a good throwback pour. And I mean, honestly, most nights I get 1 to 2 decent to good pours in. After that, I know the amount of time I have for pours versus other things. And let's just get down to business and start throwing a few back. Been a long day by the time 9:30, 10 o'clock rolls around.
So this is a third or fourth pour of the night for you then.
Oh, yeah. Post run, get back in, maybe enjoy something. Then, all right, I got 42 things to do now that everybody in the house is asleep, and I need something to idle me down a little bit.
I totally get that. But anyways, Zeke was nice enough to pour blinds for us right now, and I don't know what we have here. All we have to do is kind of go through here. We're going to do this a little differently than how we typically do stuff. So what I want you to do is Zeke and I are going to talk for a little bit. You guys start drinking. We're going to try the left one and the right one.
Okay.
You guys tell us what you like better, and I'll tell you what I like better because I don't know what they are. Then we're going to talk about these a little bit, but just drink because I know we're all on the time frame.
So you basically just want us to take the two and
Just say which
Just
one
A,
you
B
like
'em.
better.
Which one we like better.
Yeah.
You can
All right.
take notes on them. You can do like plus and minus comparing. Really, whatever you want to do, freestyle.
All right.
All right.
There's no right or wrong, and John and I are rarely right to begin with. So shit.
And we'll talk about them in a little more detail after we know what they actually are. But before we start talking about the notes that we get on it, we at least want to say, okay, which one do we like better? Because then that we know is completely unbiased. And then when you find out what these are, then we can kind of go through notes a little bit more. And then what we like to do is after we say what it is, then we can talk about the actual tasting notes, because we find the listeners, and we were telling you kind of how we changed around doing things before, but the listeners like to know what the whiskey is before we start talking about the tasting notes, because then they would say, we used to do tasting notes first and then the reveal. And they would come back and go, you talked about A for 15 minutes, and then you talked about B for 15 minutes and C for 15 minutes. And then I had to go back and listen to them again once I actually knew what they were.
That makes sense.
So we flipped it around a little bit. So we like to get the initial opinion out there first so that people know there's no bias, and then we move on.
Fair enough.
Yeah. What do you think, Zeke? We're letting them drink for a second.
Yeah, while they pour, I'll throw up a topic I think we've discussed at least once or twice, but it bewilders me how, for the most part, consistently good Knob Creek picks are, yet just the regular shelf small batch, just, to me, is just off-putting. Too much heat, not enough flavor. But, I mean, clearly they have plenty of bottles. I just don't understand why that keeps occurring. I don't know.
What do you think about the new look of the Knob Creek bottle?
Oh, they're sleek, man. They went from, I don't know, like a very basic to, that's an eye catcher. They got some, nice color, a little pizzazz to it. I love the way they're putting all the information on everything now. Everything's printed. Ideally, you don't have to worry about, somebody forgetting to put the, pick plates on there, or that getting mixed up or lost and having to wonder if you really got the right thing or not. So it's, I think they're moving in the right direction, other than the supposed price hike that's coming.
There's going to be a price hike?
It's word on the street.
I did hear that as well. I was wanting you to tell more about it so I could drink.
Oh, well, I really don't remember what it is. I just know it's a hike. I mean, nobody's going down these days.
I think it's going to end up being like $65.
Shoo.
60 or $65 because they're at $49.99 now. So they're going up $10.
So see, that's the other double-edged sword of this. As much as I feel like picks are always consistently, for the most part, very noticeably better than just shelf small batch, at the same time, I think very few of them get far enough above baseline to where they're, bottles you're going to hoard or, randomly pour, or save for when friends come over in blinds and stuff. Like, you crack it, enjoy it, mow it on down over a course of time, and then when you throw it away, there's not too much wincing or other things. I feel like with that, it makes the price kick even higher because it's not those, picks you covet. Those, your buddies hit you up. Hey, I did a KC pick. You want one? Yeah, I got the money. I'll take it. Or, if you don't, you don't. But it's never that, let me sell something so I can make sure I can get this KC pick.
Totally agree.
So I don't know. We'll see how the market responds. I know with the, when they first tried to bump up Booker's, that didn't go too well. I think now they've slowly almost gotten to the price they originally said they were going to, that everybody got fired up about. And I think everyone just took it for what it is now. Wow. And then, Baker's is going up and the whole line. And I mean, hopefully the fire doesn't increase the price of things.
No, the fire. So I was talking to some people that worked there. The fire was actually in a young warehouse. So the stuff was laid in the fall of 2018, and it was all stuff that they would mix with liqueurs.
What liqueurs does Beam make?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't ask?
I don't know. Whatever scissor they have. I don't know what scissors they have.
I would ask that question.
He said liqueurs.
I know.
I guess we could look it up. It's anything Beam Suntory. It could be a whole variety of things that might not be under the Beam label. It could be under another one of the umbrella. It's a wide umbrella. You never know. Could be going to Japan. So you guys have been sipping on this. What are your initial thoughts so far?
You want me to tell you which one I like better first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I like A better.
Okay. What about you, D-Rock?
I've got A too. A
Yeah.
by far to me.
A's left, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have A as well.
It's got a whole lot of buttery feel at the front. And then it finishes with a nice little spice, I thought. But then you put a little bit of water in it, and almost all the spice goes away, and it's just, man, it's good. I like A.
And the nose to me in A is far better.
Oh, way better.
Far better.
I had said the nose for A was fruity, fuller, and bolder than B.
Yeah.
I'd
And
agree with that.
I think the taste for B, and all I did was write down differentiators for this one right now because we don't know what they are yet. But I said B is for banana. I got a huge banana taste on B, and I just didn't like it as much as the fruitiness of A.
What's the one? What's the second one we had on our show that you were on?
Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Where I actually feel like a jackass because I haven't had Jack Daniels straight up in a very long time. And I go,
Was that the one where we were like, it tastes like burned bananas? No, I'm sorry. That was the episode before yours. There was something we had that was like, man, this tastes like grilled bananas.
Yeah.
I said to you.
And that's what I got off of this one.
It's funny though, because bananas are typically a profile trait of Brown Foreman.
Yeah.
Which would be Jack Daniels, Old Forester, all that kind of stuff.
Some
But
1792 gets real banana-y.
yeah, some
Yeah.
1792
That Bald and
does.
Bond definitely did. The 100 proof point.
But it's funny because I still feel like a jackass. I was telling Zeke this. After I did your show, I said, can you believe it? It's like I had Jack Daniels neat for the first time. And
I think we all did that
Yeah.
day. That was the first time we all had it for decades.
No,
And I just leaned over to you and I said, JP, and I said, I think this is wine finished. Is this wine finished? And then
You didn't get that specific. You just said, is it finished? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can cut yourself a little bit of a break.
I mean, I felt like it was finished in something. It was there was something in there that was very sweet and just kind of off. I was like, oh, it's Jack Daniels. This isn't with Coke. I'm not used to this.
Yeah. This is very similar to one we just had on the show, and that's what I tasted. I tasted that, but this time it tasted burned. Like it tasted like a burned banana.
So Zeke's about to reveal.
This would be A,
Okay.
That's why we like A.
That's it.
which is 2018 George T. Stagg.
Okay.
I wrote down on mine a Buffalo Trace product. So
At 124.9, which is somewhat low for a GTS, but
What was a B?
behind door number 2
Oh, look at that.
is a Jack Daniels single barrel proof picked by the Milwaukee Bourbon Society.
Now, how'd you even get that one?
I got friends.
In low places?
Well, actually, these are up north, so I always think that is higher just because it's north.
It's Milwaukee.
It's on the top bunk.
But this is the Angry Wives picked. I've enjoyed a lot of JDBP lately.
I should also tell you guys something. Zeke had a theory, and he keeps posting this hashtag with Jack Daniels Barrel Proof, and he keeps hashtagging better than GTS. So this has been something that he's had brewing, and we just kind of shut him down. But I know he's going to go to everybody he knows and just says the three of us have broken palates.
I mean, it's okay. There's more to it than just, the actual simple one tasting of things. You got to look at price, availability. Can you find them? I mean, there's literally no secondary markup for
That's
any
true.
Jack Daniels Barrel Proof.
That is a good point.
And
Half
if
the
you
time, the
can-
store that get them, they don't sell. And honestly, if you really look at the numbers, I'm pretty sure, especially by the end of this year, it will be the rarest pick in the game. There'll be more Willet picks than JD Barrel Proof picks.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed. And I would say that getting a barrel proof, JD has enough single barrels out there, and they have the single barrel select, but to have a barrel proof single barrel select, it's very rare that you actually get one of those from JD.
Yeah, I mean, that one that I did with Prov back at the beginning of the year
Was the second one I knew of.
and he said that he got the pick for, I think, a 3 or 4 state radius.
Wow.
man.
So, I mean,
Wow.
there's not a ton out there. I think that's, if nothing else, why the majority of people have never had it or experienced it.
Yeah.
Like you guys, your initial response, oh, JD, yeah, I've had that 94 proof. Barrel proof doesn't excite me, but
I think it's an 80 proof, actually.
Yeah.
so that would be my thoughts. And obviously, we can just go through the tastings in order. But from what you remember of, when you did the show with John and that lower proof JD, I'd at least like to hear off memory how drastic of a difference it may or may not be.
It's a huge difference. It's a massive difference. Everything about it's a massive difference.
It is.
I can't remember though well enough. I would probably choose this over just obviously just if I was doing it blind.
Yeah.
Only because I may not be a huge fan of this taste profile, but if I had to do the two of them together, that's just so much more complex than just your standard Jack is, and it.
Yeah.
I love all the flavor.
Oh, but it's banana.
as a side to a boring bourbon or whiskey.
This one almost is like a green banana. Not a grilled banana, but it's that banana that's not all the way ripe.
It's like a plantain.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's more like a plantain, but then there's also some dark fruit
Is that getting
in
too
there.
pretentious? Has everybody had a plantain before?
Yeah.
Oh, I love some plantains.
No, you got to put some plantains with ice cream sometimes. Heat it up. Bananas too. Heat them up. Throw some ice cream on it. It's good times.
I like my plantains with like some jerk chicken and some rice.
That works too.
It's very Caribbean of you.
But
I will say we had the Jack Daniel's single barrel on our show, and we all loved it.
Yes, we did.
Blind,
Yeah.
but we've never had the barrel proof.
But this one almost has a little bit of dark fruit in there with it. So it's like that green banana plantain type thing. But then there's almost a little bit of dark cherry in there with it. I think
Get
it's
a
a
little
nice
bit of cherry
contrast.
on the end of it. Yeah,
Definitely, if you took everything in runts, I guess
Yeah.
kind of applied like a college theme of like Jello shots or something Everclear, but like mixed high proof alcohol with the runt profile and all
Oh
the
no,
different
this
little
thing
fruits
is
in there.
runts for sure.
not even banana runts, but the other flavors in there too.
I can't comment to candy. I've just never been a candy person. So
Well, that's why you're skinny and I'm not.
touche.
Zeke can speak in my language now, though, because you get those banana runts and then you get the cherry runts and like,
Oh yeah, all the other little ones in there and have a little just alcohol punch to it.
you know what the funny thing is I love bananas, but I would always throw away my banana runts. It's too much fake banana.
Yeah,
I have a similar thing.
So you're
with,
saying it's not appealing?
Yeah. But I like this. I like this. I
Gotta get the D-Rock joke in
dad
there.
jokes.
Swiss cake rolls. Same thing. Like I love everything else Little Debbie makes probably, but Swiss cake rolls.
Oh, those are my
Man, I
favorites.
love those.
Something
Oh, no,
about the
no.
amount of sweet and like fake sugar in it.
We might have to
it's
take this outside
it's
and
too
fight
much.
about this because
honestly,
Swiss cake
I
rolls
can't
are-
handle them. It's over the top of too much like light fake sugar.
What
I
about
don't know.
Christmas tree cakes?
Yep.
You like those?
Anything Little Debbie makes, I can eat,
You just
but
can't do
Swiss
Swiss
cake rolls.
I love the strawberry shortcake rolls. That's my jam.
You're just gonna
jam.
love one, John,
I love two.
or three.
That's it's. There was a guy who used to have a joke. What's John's favorite type of pizza? And I go, someone would say, I don't know, and he goes, 2 pizzas. So I knew Zeke. I waited right for Zeke to be sipping on that drink. D-Rock, what do you think about this one?
The B? I actually thought it was peanut butter. That's what I was getting off of it. And I could be wrong. And maybe the
No,
banana.
I can see that.
Like maybe it's a banana with peanut butter. I thought about
see
that. It's
that.
like it kind of tastes a little bit nutty. But
No, I think that's 100% fair. I
Yeah.
think with some of that, I think that's 100% fair to throw some nuts in there.
I think there's definitely more to it than obviously the standard, $20 or whatever it is bottle of
Right.
Jack.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
has
yeah.
that one signature note.
Yep.
That's the note and that's the only note. Whereas
Right.
this is like, yeah, you can probably dissect it and find that flavor, but then also there's just a whole, I guess, room full of things going on with
Do
it
we
as
know how
well.
old this is?
Yes. This was bottled on 12, 14, 18, and almost all these are less than 6 years.
Okay.
wow. And what's the proof on this one?
135.7.
Man, I did think it had a lot of mouth heat, but there wasn't much of a hug on this to me.
No.
No, it drinks. I mean, it's hot, but
Yeah.
it doesn't burn.
I would
Right.
not have guessed it was that.
No, I wouldn't either. I was thinking, this is 105.
Yeah.
But not.
It's
No, they
like
get up there.
putting.
Yeah.
It's surprising.
It
It's
is.
sneaky.
It is.
It's like putting a little bit of sriracha on there, but not too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Zeke, do we know why it was called the Angry Wives pick? Did you ever ask?
I mean, I just assumed whatever guys went and picked it, their wives were probably angry about it.
Probably.
Peasley told me the story, and in all honesty, I forgot. I mean, he told it when we were up there drinking with Daryl, checking the Four Roses barrel, but they were passing bottles, and it was pay attention to what bottles coming around or listen to this story. Clearly, Charlie Brown's mom kicked in over here to the right, and then I look at Kara, and I'm like, yes, I'll try that one too, and that one, please, thanks.
It was like, so these two guys just like drove down to Tennessee and their wives just thought they were going down the street. They drove all the way down to Tennessee and they called their wives and they said, sorry, we just got called by God to go do a Jack Daniel's barrel pick.
Yeah.
And they said, well, when are you going to be home? I mean, we live in Milwaukee. And they go, I don't know. I mean, it's going to take us like 3 days to drive back. So they were very angry. I mean, they said day for the pick, 3 days to drive back. I mean, I think we'll probably see you in a week. And then the wives were pissed.
Yeah. I can
That
see
wouldn't
that.
go well with ours either.
Completely valid story.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's at least what
Yeah.
legend has it.
Let's just go with that.
well, there you
Yeah,
go.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sounds good enough to me. So,
Let's talk about A.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that George C. Stagg a little bit.
y'all guys had that before or no? I didn't know.
I have not had the 2018.
Oh, I haven't had 2018 either.
No.
I've had whatever you have at your house.
I've got William LaRue, so I don't have
Oh,
to
that's the
receive.
LaRue.
Yeah.
That's right. So maybe I haven't had it.
The truth comes out. The Blue Collar Bourbon boys are hoarding William LaRue Weller.
We've got some nice
Got a
stuff
couple
stashed.
things, but you know,
We blow paychecks on things every now and then.
yes.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
This one, I think that the nose, it's still just one of those things that I know when we talked about this before, Zeke, you're like, there's no way you're not going to know which one the Stag is when you do this. Because, I mean, one of these is fruity in one kind of way, and then one is banana fruit.
Yeah.
And
One's tropical and one's dark cherry, raspberry, chocolated.
Yeah.
You know, that whole desserty profile kind of realm. Whereas I think the Jack meanders a little bit more.
If
And
I'm
I always-
remembering right, didn't they say this was a younger Stag? Because we were there at Trey's last week.
The
and
18?
Yeah.
I thought it was
he
still
mentioned-
15 years.
I was trying to think what he had told us.
It's still,
tour.
I mean, it's still old. Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
over
it's-
10 years.
Yeah, it is. He just said there was a lower proof, and it was. I'm trying to remember what he had told us.
But for those of you that know me, all I need every year allocation wise, don't care if I get Pappy, don't care if I get one bottle of George C. Stagg every year, I'm a happy guy. And that's just kind of the way I feel about things. So it's very obvious to me which one I'm going to like more. I mean, I think from a value play, if you can't get it retail and you're going secondary, it's a no-brainer that Jack Daniels is the value play, and at $60, it's where you want to be more. I think the George C. Stagg lowest I've seen it on secondary lately is $4.50.
Maybe 4.
$4.50. I mean, some of the 2018s were going for $3.75 for a while, and then it didn't.
I think
really.
now it's been long enough to where plenty got cracked and the market's not as flooded as it is, in January.
Yeah. It's always this time of the year where prices go up a little bit before the releases come out in the fall, and because people have kind of gone through the ones they had last year, and whoever was holding on to them might make it extra $25-$50. But I'm a big George C. Stagg fan. Love it. I just think it's a bold drinker that goes down easy. That's what I love about it. But
Like Stormy Daniels.
kind of. Kind of.
Not Warren.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I don't really find her attractive.
Well,
George T. Stagg can help that.
there's that.
But
And then
I
there's
just
movie
don't-
magic.
Anything 30 minutes or less, I don't consider a movie.
What do you consider it to
Well,
be a
Short film?
Oh, what do they call those things? Not a skin flick. It's something. What was there's like an old word for it.
like Skinamax?
No, there was
Porn?
that's more modern day. There was something like our parents would call it. It's not a skin flick, but it's
Nudie
something
flicks.
else. Ah, shit. I'll try to think of it.
Our parents went down and put 5 cents in the little nickel thing, and
And the little curtains open.
and the curtains opened. It was a flip book,
Yep.
and they
Wait,
watched.
how old
it.
are your parents? I don't think mine are that old.
No.
No.
Hey, a flip book. Jesus.
So I think George C. Stagg is a lot more attractive than Stormy Daniels. But continue.
Who was continuing?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Zeke was saying something.
This is where John tries to punt, and everybody's like, "What? There was nothing to punt
Well,
unless you were out of words and just want to."
words are hard. So let's talk about George C. Stagg a little bit more before we actually close this out.
I'm a huge Buffalo Trace fan, so I knew as soon as I tasted. I didn't know as soon as I tasted it was Buffalo Trace product like D-Rock did, but I knew this was the winner. It was good. It's very good.
I mean, right away, I knew it was higher proof, of course, like everybody else. Easy. I did put Buffalo Trace and a question mark for antique collection. So that was,
Look at you.
yeah. I thought it was weedy though, so I was wrong on that. But I'm trying to think. I thought it was a little bit sweeter.
So what mash bill is Stag?
2, I think, isn't it?
It's
Is it 2 or 1, John?
It's a 1.
I'm honestly off
Yeah.
with those things. Like,
So it's
Two is going to be your ETL, your Rock Hill Farms, your
Yeah.
Blanton. So,
Yeah.
so Stagg is mash bill number 1.
Assuming they keep that consistent since they move around everything else these days.
Exactly. Although we have found some Eagle Rares that are mash bill number 2.
Well, there's Eagle Rares and Blanton's picks that have been flips, and Buffalo Trace even go on the record of saying we don't automatically designate one to this line or the other.
They just
we
told us
taste
that.
it, and based on the profile, then we position it to where we think it would fit the profile.
Yep.
Which messes up all those people that make all those trees. You know, when they have the bourbon tree and they have all the different mash bills and they try to tell you what goes where.
You really want to get deep into it. The trees are probably what caused that, since that's where the majority of the profile comes from. So then that's what's creating the mingling and the, overlapping flavors.
That too.
Trees.
65% of the taste comes from the barrel. But I was saying, like the tree, like they make somebody makes
I
like
knew
a
where you were
bourbon
going,
family
John. I
tree.
did. I got that analogy.
He's trying to branch out.
Man.
Oh God!
Clearly, somebody should have cut him down.
This is what we deal with every week. We got D-Rock jokes.
If you do one more of those, I think
He was rooted in.
He's got plenty of them.
So
we'll leave that one alone.
So you guys, when I was over at your show, you had said that you really wanted to try that Four Roses Small Batch Select.
Yes.
And it was something you hadn't had yet. So I said, when you come over and hang out with us, I'm going to make sure it's something that you have. So for you guys, I poured the Four Roses Small Batch Select.
They're getting it much better than a fresh crack.
They are getting it much better than a fresh crack. So you guys go ahead and have this. Tell me what you think.
Okay.
I know you guys typically like cheers and stuff before you drink. So cheers.
Cheers.
I just look at John and flip him a bird. Our other gestures are, mouth certain things. Hopefully you like it. I won't, put words in your mouth, but having some air, in case anybody listening, missed our 1 or 2 shows on this earlier, it did tremendous things. I had it fresh cracked, 3 or 4 times. Just like I kept testing myself because back in the summer my allergies were bad, and I was just like, it smells pretty good for initially, tastes pretty good, but then had just a lot of bite in the back that I couldn't get past. And then the second time we had it, we still had a media sample that we ended up not cracking because a friend of ours got us a bottle. So we literally had the fresh cracked media sample side by side with
before we even got the friend's bottle, I went up to Kentucky and got one up at the gift shop too. So we ended up getting 2 bottles. We lucked out.
Well,
I don't get the bite at the end.
Either way, so when we had even the media sample that was fresh cracked versus the 2-month-ish open bottle.
Oh.
Day and night
Really?
difference. Day and night. Honestly, I was like, I know these are the same things. But
Day
if
and
I
night
taste,
as in better?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the airtime completely wiped out that back on the bite on the back end.
Yeah, because I don't get it on this one.
I mean, I've seen stuff open up, and you hear plenty of folks say like, "Yeah, give a little air, it'll come around." That's got to be one of the most noticeable ones, at least for me, and the how I pick up on the palate. This stuff,
Yeah.
it changed so much. It went from I would not recommend buying this if someone pours it for you, try it to they did know what they were doing when they put this thing together.
And it's one of those things where I think a lot of the Four Roses lately have been that way. Like the 130th was that way. Zeke and I had it open for an hour, and it took us an hour just to get anything on the nose.
Oh, really?
I think a lot of I'm not talking about like a Four Roses single barrel, but the Four Roses blends, I all think need a little bit of air before you give them that accurate evaluation. You shouldn't have it fresh crack and be like, buy this or don't buy this, because you're never going to get that initially. It's something that's going to develop over time. But sorry, we were talking. We were giving you guys some time to sip and drink it. What do you guys think?
It's good, first of all, but I get a lot of honey on the palate. Mm-hmm. It's sweet. And then you start talking about bite, but I didn't realize you were talking about after it had been open.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I tried to slow that enough to where you'd already had at least a couple of taste in and developed enough an opinion to where at least if I said it and you didn't get it, which I thought you would, you'd be like, "What the hell is this dummy talking about?"
I don't get the bite because obviously it's been open for a little bit.
Yeah,
but not a huge fan of the end of it. It's kind of dry, but I like the palate a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
It's got a lot of honey to me.
Yeah, there's definitely not much of a hug.
No.
I mean, it's not non-existent.
What's the proof on it?
103, I think.
Okay. Have you AB'd this with a regular small batch?
We haven't had them side by side. Obviously, kind of have our thoughts, just knowing in memories
104 proof.
and whatever memory says. And I guess I kind of align with what I've seen in a few other people's thoughts is at the price point for the amount of flavor that the original small batch gives you, this one doesn't necessarily kick it up that proportionately.
Step it up enough.
And at the same time, kind of in the, to even push that an increment further on your price, most single barrels, depending on, who picks them and how you feel about their palate,
Yeah.
they're almost worth that extra, $5 to $10. So it kind of falls in a weird spot for me as far as granted the picks aren't always available, but somebody I know's and had good picks in the past, I'm probably going to drop, 10 more for that. And at the same time, if I'm looking for more of the daily drinker side of thing or, just something you're not as conservative with, I think the original small batch still offers plenty enough meat on the bone. Shit, even Yellow Label for me plenty of times does pretty good.
Yeah.
To where it
For a lot cheaper.
I'm not knocking them for where they priced it, but I just say as a consumer, it kind of makes it hard to find where that falls in, my cascade of when am I going to grab that one as opposed to left or right of it.
Right.
What is the retail on this?
It's actually gift shop. I think it was 55 in the gift shop. But what do you guys think? Are you buying this? Are you having it at a bar? Or are you saying, nah, don't worry about it?
Personally, I like it, but I'm not sure if I'm spending 55 on it. I think I agree with you. Like I was able to pick a cast strength single barrel Four Roses, and it was about $15-$20 more. I'm like, yeah, kind of. It's tough. It's
so much more oomph in a good.
There is.
And at the same time, you're going to enjoy regular small batch or Yellow Label and have 10 or 15 more in your pocket.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know that I would buy it.
You're not a fan. It's okay. Just say it. You're not even a bar it.
I might bar it. I might bar it. I might bar it in certain situations. It depends on what the situation
That's
is.
like a girl in high school that was like, yeah, John, I might go out with you.
And
Like
she
it
might.
wasn't. No, it wasn't.
She might go out for a free dinner.
I was going to say that.
Yeah,
this
if
is
nobody else
completely
asks.
different because I believe
but I
believe the might to my left, not the might across from me.
I can turn his might into the same situation if he wants me to.
Well,
But we all have those moments where when you're at a bar and you look at something, and especially depending on
Here's
how
my
much-
situation. I would say I would bar it if I was in a bar and I hadn't had it and saw the bottle.
but now you've had it.
Now
so
that
you
I've
don't have
had
to
it,
worry
I
about
know I wouldn't.
Or also depending on how much is on the bar, and if
True.
you do or don't like it, and you're like, well,
that is
I
true.
only had this once. I'd had some other stuff ahead of it.
Yep.
It's at a
And
reasonable
if it's surrounded
price.
by a whole bunch of other crappy stuff,
If it's a reasonable price, let me give this one more whirl and just test myself. I mean,
I think
I
the
see
price
that.
at a bar might be 15.
Never
You
know.
think? And so,
If it's over 15 a pour, I wouldn't get it.
yeah, exactly.
you walk into a bar and this is 10 or 12, I'd bar it.
Yeah, I would too.
But I'm not buying the bottle at 55.
That's fair. Anyways, we really appreciate you guys coming on the show. I know everybody's kind of turning into a pumpkin. So
Yeah.
I am going to wrap this up. We do have day jobs tomorrow and things to do, but tell the folks where they can find the Blue Collar Bourbon Show.
Yeah, absolutely. We are on every single social channel at at Blue Collar Bourbon. We're on Twitter at Bourbon Show, and we are online at thebluecollarbourbon.com.
And I would encourage people to check them out and listen to them. They're a good time. Very similar minded as us. So
Yep.
we appreciate having you guys here. JP
Absolutely.
and
Thanks for
D-Rock.
having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Come back. Doors always open. And you can go ahead and find Zeke and I on Dad's Drinking Bourbon on Instagram, Dad's Drinking Bourbon on Facebook, Bourbon Dads on Twitter. Please find us on your favorite podcast app. Leave us an open and honest review, just like we leave open and honest reviews to any whiskey we drink. Zeke, where else can the folks find us?
Good old Nashville, Tennessee.
Cheers.
Ciao.
Cheers.
Cheers.